Grievance and conflict resolution training for people receiving DDS and ABI services, presented by Nonotuck Resource Associates. Today we'll be talking about the purpose of grievance and conflict resolution, policies that go with it, procedures that go with it, how to file a grievance, rights and responsibilities of each party, and any documentation that applies. The purpose of grievance and conflict resolution is to help ensure that people receiving services are supported by the organization when they feel that they would like to file a formal grievance. It is also to help ensure that people receiving services have a mechanism in place to express their dissatisfaction with the service and/or service delivery. Our policy states that a grievance is a complaint that refers to any reportable situation, including abuse or mistreatment. A grievance is a situation that does not need to rise to the level of abuse or mistreatment, but is an event or action that a person supported wants to report. All staff and caregivers are mandated reporters and are, by law, required to report any situation constituting mistreatment or abuse to DPPC for people 18 to 59 years old, the Elder Abuse Hotline for people 60 years and older, or to DCF for people under 18 years old. If a person receiving services feels that their rights have been violated and wants to file a formal complaint with DPPC, it is the obligation of any Nonotuck staff person or their shared living provider to assist them with this process, or to report on their behalf as applicable, given mandated reporting statutes. Examples of grievances brought forward may include negative interaction with a staff member, not receiving services that have been agreed to, allegations of loss, theft, and/or damage of a participant's property. Once an issue is brought forward, Nonotuck has an administrative review process that will be initiated. This process involves speaking with all involved parties and implementing changes or personnel action as warranted. During the administrative review, it may become necessary to file a complaint with DPPC and/or contact law enforcement. Procedures. If a person receiving services wants to report or appeal a decision or action made by the agency or any representative of the agency, the Nonotuck grievance procedure should be followed. Any Nonotuck staff person or shared living provider who is asked to assist a person in filing a grievance is obligated to do so and to ensure all appropriate Nonotuck personnel are notified. If an incident rises to the level of possible signs of abuse and/or neglect, Nonotuck staff are obligated to contact DPPC and do not need permission from a supervisor. Information of the grievance process and any findings pertaining to a grievance that has been filed will be presented to the person filing the report in a manner that is understandable to them. Nonotuck has a strict no retaliation policy whereby the filing of a complaint or grievance will not in any way negatively impact services that are being provided to a person. The person, care manager, and legally authorized representative is included throughout the grievance process and in the resolution of the grievance. Filing a grievance, step 1. The person filing the grievance and/or the staff person assisting them notifies the program's Human Rights Officer who, in consultation with the Human Rights Coordinator, will submit a written response to the person filing the complaint within days. Depending on the nature of the report, other parties will be consulted, such as the Assistant Program Director, Director, VP of Residential Services, Executive VP of Operations, etc. The person's care manager and legally authorized representative will be notified and receive a copy of the response. Again, if an incident rises to the level of possible signs of abuse and/or neglect, Nonotuck staff are obligated to contact DPPC and do not need permission from a supervisor. Filing a grievance, step 2. If the person filing the grievance is not satisfied with the results, they can speak with the director who will provide a written response outlining possible solutions within 5 days. The person's care manager and legally authorized representative will be notified and receive a copy of the response. Filing a grievance, step 3. If neither of these steps yield satisfactory results to the person filing the grievance, they have 5 days to contact the executive director or designee who will gather information and may call a meeting within 5 days of all involved parties, including the Human Rights Officer and Coordinator. Within 7 working days, the executive director will submit a written response to the person filing the grievance. The person's care manager and legally authorized representative will be notified and receive a copy of the response. Rights and responsibilities of each party. People supported have the right to be treated with respect and dignity at all times, and to have any situation involving abuse or mistreatment reported to DPPC. They also have a right to file a grievance over any matter they feel is an issue to them. They have the responsibility to advocate for themselves to the best of their ability. Any staff person or shared living provider who reports a situation on behalf of a person has a right to be free of any retaliation. All staff have the responsibility to report all situations of mistreatment and abuse to DPPC and are encouraged to notify a supervisor at once so that any protective actions may be taken as warranted. All parties listed on the grievance procedure steps have the responsibility to respond within the given timelines. Complaint resolution sign-off. Case managers are required to review Nonotuck's grievance policy and procedures with shared living providers and people served initially and annually thereafter, or as needed. Shared living providers and people served, when applicable, are required to sign off acknowledging they understand their rights and responsibilities of the complaint resolution process. Grievance and conflict resolution check-ins. Nonotuck staff are expected to observe and address any possible signs of grievance and conflicts during home visits. Such conversations should be noted in monthly home visit notes with regular follow-up, check-ins, and necessary trainings provided. ABI complaint form. This form is used for people who receive ABI funding specifically. It should be completed when a complaint is being filed on behalf of the person receiving services. Complaint procedure log. For people receiving ABI funding, a separate complaint procedure log book should be kept in the home. A running log of the person's filed complaints should be kept here. A copy of this log should also be kept in the office record book. Emergency phone numbers. In addition to the complaint procedure log book for people receiving ABI funding, a list of emergency phone numbers should be included in the person's home record.